Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, how are you today? I hope that all of us are in really good condition today. So, we are from group 7 class D. And as we know, we already learned about incomplete adjective clause. But today, our group will explain more about incomplete adjective clause. Before that, we will introduce ourselves. My name is Raisa Handra.
Hello, my name is Rizqa Fitri.
Hello guys, my name is Ratu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sekar Intan.
Did you know adjective clause? Yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Adjective clause, also called relative clause, are the most commonest of the three types of dependent clause. Adjective clause are better known as relative clause because the role of the adjective clause are to provide additional information related to the noun that is subject of the sentences. Adjective clause are a way to join two sentences. Each begin with an adjective clause mark. There are special characteristics that can help you to identify adjective clause. Here the characteristic. 1. Just like any other clause, adjective clause has a full subject and verb. 2. Adjective clause is always preceded by relative pronoun such as who, whom, whose, that, and which, and also relative verbs such as when and where. 3. Adjective clause provide new information about the noun as subject of sentences. Okay, because that, let's learn it. Look at the slide. There are two sentences. The first, I wanted the book. The second one, the book had already been checked out. So, to join that sentences, we can use one of the adjective clause mark. At this, we can use which as the adjective clause mark, and then the sentence becomes the book which I wanted had already been checked out. In that sentence, which related to the head noun, the book. And then, the book which I wanted, it's as a subject. Had already been checked out is a verb of the sentence. Okay? Still confused? Don't worry. Let's dig deeper into the next explanation that will be delivered by my friends. Bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sekar Intan. I will continue the explanation from my friend. Adjective clause marker that. That replace the subject or object of people or things in the sentences. Example 1. 12 September is the date that I was born. Then in the sentences, replace 12 September. 2. Art that is in public place can be joined by everyone. That in the sentences replace subject. 3. The painting that Mrs. Wallace bought very expensive. That in the sentences replace object. Adjective clause marker where. Where used for adverb of place in the sentences. Example 1. This is the house where my son was born. Where in the sentences explain the location of the son's house. 2. Here is the site where the bank plans to build its new headquarters. Where in the sentences explain the location of the bank's head office to be built. Adjective clause marker when. When used for the adverb of time in the sentences. Example 1. The day when the concert takes place in Saturday. When in the sentences describe the time the concert took place. 2. This is the hour when the children usually go to bed. When in the sentences describe children's sleep time. Okay? That is the explanation from me. Thank you.
Now, another thing to know about adjective clauses, they all begin with a relative pronoun. This is basically the conjunction of the clause, or we can call it with markers. There are 7 markers of the adjective clause. The first one is who. Who can be both the conjunction and the subject. Example, I have two sentences here. A neurologist is a doctor and the doctor specializes in the nervous system. Because I don't know who the doctor is in independent sentence, so I need to identify him. So here's one way we can do it. A neurologist is a doctor who specializes in the nervous system. So I still have my independent clause. A neurologist is a doctor. But now I have my adjective, that is who specializes in the nervous system. My identifying adjective clause telling me who the doctor is. Who is also the subject of the clause. The second one is whom. Who and whom almost have the preference. If who can be a subject, but whom can only be an object. So we can never use whom with a verb. If we see whom beginning an adjective clause, there must be a separated subject in that clause. For example, this is the patient whom the doctor treated. The whom the doctor treated is the adjective clause here. It means for the patient as an object. The third one is whose. Whose means for possession. It doesn't have to be about a person. A thing can possess something. For example, Mr. Collins is the man whose the car I rented. Whose means to Mr. Collins' car. The car is a thing, but I can still use whose. Whose is just a possession. Fourth one is which. Which also have the preference with that. It uses for telling subject or object for people or things. An adjective clause with which can modify the entire clause before it. For example, this is a topic which interests me. So, this which is not talk about the topic. This which is modifying to the entire clause. The topic interests me, so this which talk about the situation.
Next, you may also see sentences with adjective clause used in the pattern. Quantity word plus of plus relative clause. Example, number 1. The first sentence, I read a number of articles. The second sentence, most of them very useful. These two sentences are combined using the pattern become I read a number of articles, most of which very useful. Most in the sentence as the quantity word, of as of, and which as relative clause. Number 2. The first sentence, he met with two advisors. The second sentence, he had known both of them for years. These two sentences are combined using the pattern become he met with two advisors, both of whom he had known for years. Both in the sentence as quantity word, of as of, and whom as relative clause. Okay, I think that's all the explanation of the incomplete adjective clause from us, Group 7 Class D. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.